following session of the legislature, we've got to make sure that you, as the people of Indiana, get to vote on making this permanent, beyond the reach of any judge, beyond the reach of some reneging future legislature. Please get out of here tonight and talk to your legislatures about submitting that vote to you. Let's make permanent the property tax caps of 2007. So when I talk about the party of yes, there's another phrase that I've often quoted. I found a line in Emerson somewhere. He said, in every system of politics, there tends to always be a party of memory and a party of hope. What he meant was, there's one side that looks back nostalgically, thinks about the good old days, wants to kind of hold everything together, and gosh, if we can just sort of do it the way we've always done it. And then there's another side that says, nope, things can be better, but we're going to have to move, we're going to have to act, and offers the hope of a better, brighter future. That's us. That's the Indiana Republican Party. I've said so often, we can't control what the party looks like, talks like, sounds like, stands for nationally, or in any other state. We can control what it means, what the people in this room have made possible. And the reason those two sets of questions are really one. How do you do all those good things? How do you make all that progress in a state? And how do you win elections? It's the same question. Because elections for us have never been about just winning for the thrill of it all. It's about what you do when you're there. And getting there in a way, running for office in a way that makes it more likely that you can succeed, because you were positive, because you spoke to the highest aspirations of people, because you didn't belittle and disparage your opponents and poison the whole system or the chance of working together later, because you really showed you cared about everybody. It's always all been the same for us. Now there's a big burden, there's a big duty on the party of hope. It's hard work. It's a lot easier, really, to be the party of no, the party of memory. The duty that you have, we have, as the party of hope, is to keep moving, keep thinking, keep listening, keep searching for ways to do the next thing, to make this state the great, great state that it should be and can be. You know, it took 5 years, but our opponents finally, as I always knew they would, are starting to get it. That it doesn't work very well to always just be no, 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 and criticism, and attack. You know, I'm for it. It's overdue. But the proposals for ethical reform of the Indiana legislature that have just been put forward by our opposition, I think are a really good idea. But I just got to say one thing. When Pat Bauer turns into a reformer, something has changed, right? Something is going on. So we have to stay ahead of the wave, ahead of the curve. We have to continue to drive the debate and the agenda of this state so that they remain a pale imitation even when they finally start to figure out that you better be positive about something. We have to say yes. We have to be those who say yes to the next round of reforms. Yes, we can protect taxpayers further in this state, not just in the by keeping our spending within the shrinking, at least for now, boundaries of our revenue, but putting in place some long-term protections so that after our day, taxpayers in Indiana are more favored than taxpayers elsewhere. Yes, we can not just talk about, but produce educational results that are at the level that our kids will need. They're going to compete with the brilliant and hardworking kids, and there are millions who I saw in Japan and China and places that I've traveled, and many of you have too. Yes, we can move of the enormous billions of dollars we spend in public education, we can move more of it into the classroom, more and better paid teachers, smaller classes, smaller schools through lower overhead. Yes, we can have an excellent teacher in every classroom And if they learned their math in the military, if they learned their science at Eli Lilly or Covance or somewhere else, and they want to teach, I say, and Tony Bennett says, absolutely, come on in, we're going to get you in the classroom the fastest way we can. And we have to be the people that say, yes, our kids have got to do so much better today. We got to aim so much higher than we have in terms of their mastery of academics. But we have to say, yes, we're going to liberate the schools of this state, whether in charter forms or any other fashion that they think might work. We're going to hold them accountable to those higher standards, but let them free to find ways to teach our kids in new and better ways. We have to say, yes, we can modernize local government in Indiana. What was probably well conceived in 1848 just might be in need of a little touching up. And we have to be for that, and let me just be frank. There's, by somebody's count, 11,000 local politicians we've been elected in this state. It's a few too many. But here's the truth. Let's just face up. Nobody's ever been able to count it for me, but I know because I've been everywhere. I got to tell you for sure, 7,000 to 8,000 of them are Republicans. We cannot let that stop us. We have to do what's right for this state. We have to modernize government, make it accountable and more transparent and more affordable for the taxpayers of Indiana. If it means a few less elected Republicans, I'm sorry, I'm for it. I hope you are too. We have to be the party that says, yes, the voters of this state deserve political lines and district lines that make geographic sense, that make community sense, that make common sense. Todd Rokita is exactly right. I'm 100% for him, been in it with him from the beginning. If we have the opportunity, we will draw honest lines in this state. By the way, I think Republicans will do better under honest lines than the gerrymandered lines that the Democrats drew in 2000. But regardless of the impact politically, we have to be for these things because this is the kind of integrity that Indiana expects of the Indiana Republican Party. We're not going to let them down on that issue either. Now, to do these things, to not just say yes, but to deliver as we have before, there's a little detail we have to take care of. We have to have a majority in the Indiana House of Representatives. I'm going to do everything I can the next year to see that that happens. I am so excited. You should be too. If you're here tonight, they're around this room. There's a table here, but they're around this room. We have been able to persuade some of the most remarkable people I've ever seen to step forward and run as candidates for the Indiana House of Representatives. It's not an easy thing to ask somebody to do. You have to be a citizen legislator. You have to somehow keep your career going or your home going or body and soul going while you spend way too much time for a pitifully small compensation to do it. I hope we never trade in our citizen legislature for a full-time. It would be a colossal mistake.